Up with KREM begins now.
Hi friends, good morning. Thanks so much for starting off your Tuesday with us here on Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham. We also want to say a very special good morning and welcome back to the kiddos in the Cheney School District. And not just the kiddos, I should say the teenagers too. And yeah, it's going to be a great school year and we hope it is the best year yet. Let's get to meteorologist Thomas Patrick now, helping Cheney and the rest of the viewing area get ready for this Tuesday morning. Thomas, it's going to be hot. It's why we're calling for a weather impact alert.
Yeah, it's still pretty hot outside, Tim. Bit of context though, and kind of our process when it comes to our weather impact alert days. I usually like to go 95 and above when it comes to the heat, but I actually just lowered the forecast to 93 thanks to a little bit of extra cloud cover that you're seeing in the skies here. But since we already called for it, we didn't want to undo that. It's still going to be kind of relatively hot outside. So just realize that we're at the tail end of this heat wave, but it's still going to be well into the 90s, even if the clouds are out there this morning. Right now, we're still at 69 degrees, a very warm start to the day, and heat advisories and extreme heat warnings do continue through Wednesday, so this does make it day 4 out of 5 of this heat wave, but the worst appears to be behind us. Yesterday, we got to 96. That'll be the peak. Today, I go 93. A small difference, but the cloud cover really just helped me push down that forecast just by a couple more degrees for today.
Here's a live look at the traffic impact right now from I-90 and University in Spokane Valley. We're off to a great start here on this Tuesday. No major issues to report at this hour. Smooth sailing in both the east and westbound lanes right now. No other problems throughout our network that we're seeing to report to you right now. So we'll keep a close eye on it, let you know if there's any problems. On Up with KREM, we bring you weather and traffic together every 30 minutes. Happening right now, a labor strike by union employees is delaying some Idaho Transportation Department projects. Here's what we found out. ITD says the I-90 and State Highway 41 interchange is delayed until the strike is resolved. The plan is to have the project done by 2026. The I-90 Coeur d'Alene River Bridge will also be delayed. The work is expected to continue into the winter. And finally, the widening of I-90 is delayed while ITD figures out what can be done while the strike is going on. This morning in Chelan County, a campground is still closed while the search for Travis Decker intensifies. He is charged with killing his 3 daughters. More than 100 personnel from the FBI, evidence experts, U.S. Marshals, Forest Service, and Chelan County deputies are focused on a quarter-mile area of the Rock Island campground. They say in similar cases, homicide suspects have been found dead or alive in that radius from a crime scene. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison acknowledges this search may not bring any new answers, but stresses he and his team are committed to exhausting every possible lead.
We don't give up. We understand that the girls would not want us to give up, but I did talk with Whitney last night over the phone. I get her frustration. Of course, she wants the kind of closure where we can locate Travis and bring him to justice.
Authorities say they plan on reopening the campground around 5 tonight. New this morning, a piece of history is on its way to the inland Northwest. The Wall That Heals is a replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. It is headed to the Dwight Merkel Sports Complex, and that is where we find KREM 2's Christian Garza this morning. Christian, when is the wall expected to be here? And tell us a little bit more about it. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. Well, it's actually going to be here at Dwight Merkel in just a matter of hours, and crews have already started getting everything ready. You see all the different flags that have been put up here along the roadway kind of leading into Dwight Merkel, but crews have been getting ready for the Wall That Heals to make its way here to the inland Northwest. Now, the Wall That Heals will be on display from about Thursday to Sunday for the community to come out and enjoy. And in fact, Spokane is actually just one of 31 cities that is getting a visit from the Wall That Heals. Now, crews have already been out prepping the site to make sure it's ready for the wall. Since 1996, the Wall That Heals has been traveling to communities across the nation, spreading the Vietnam Veterans Memorial's healing's legacy to millions. According to its website, the Wall That Heals has traveled to over 800 communities, allowing the souls whose names are on the memorial to exist once more among family and friends in a familiar surrounding. Kirsten Lyons, the director of the Washington State Fallen Heroes Project, helped bring the wall to the Lilac City. Now, she says the goal of bringing it here was to show support for not just the fallen soldiers, but their families as well.
It's making its way across the U.S., but it's just, you know, there's over 58,000 names inscribed on that wall, and they're all people who gave their lives for us. They're all people who had families and friends, and whose loss lives on, but whose memory lives on too. And the best way we can do that is by showing up and making sure that we're remembering and we're honoring and acknowledging, and that's our goal for this week while the wall is here.
Now, while the wall is here, there will be multiple ceremonies taking place at Dwight Merkel, like a welcome home ceremony on Thursday at 9:30 a.m. and a ceremony on Friday at sunset for those affected by Agent Orange. The wall is set to be escorted here to the Dwight Merkel Sports Complex at about 1:30 this afternoon. We, of course, have all that information about the different ceremonies that will take place here up on our website, KREM.com. In Spokane, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Tomorrow, Central Valley students return to the classroom and they will notice some safety upgrades. You may remember we first told you about Central Valley installing new secure lobbies. Yesterday, we got a look at those new entrances. They serve as the first checkpoint for all visitors trying to enter the schools. Right now, Broadway, Progress, and Liberty Lake Elementaries, as well as Summit School and Green Acres Middle School, all have this new safety upgrade.
And here we'll have an access spot where they are able to buzz into our secretaries, and they do have a camera as well. That way our secretaries can speak to them on the phone and also have clear visibility of them from their desks before they are allowed to enter into the building. And then these doors will remain locked, so then family members cannot enter straight into the building. They must go through our office area and then be let into the school building.
The push for safety comes from the district's Making Schools Safer campaign. Back in July, the district was able to fast-track capital levy dollars, making the project possible 5 years earlier. Meantime, Cheney students head back to school this morning, and the district is rolling out a new cell phone policy. Here's a breakdown of what's changing. All elementary and middle schools will be cell phone free during school hours. High school students can only use their phones during passing periods and meals. Cheney is not the first school district to have a cell phone ban. Spokane Public Schools updated its policy last year. One SPS student we spoke to says the cell phone rules help students to step outside of their comfort zone and meet new people. However, it was not always easy to follow.
However, once we got to about halfway through the school year, those rules that had started off so strong in the beginning began to slip very easily. There was a lot more cell phone usage. Because our school didn't do 100% no phones, we were allowed to use them at lunch and passing periods. So it was a lot more difficult to just put them away during class time.
SPS tells KREM 2 after their cell phone ban, the district has seen misuse of social media decrease by 64%. And in middle school specifically, there's been more engagement between students during lunchtime. Within the next week, most kids in the Inland Northwest will be back in school, including a dozen districts heading back tomorrow. This means it is time to get back into that bedtime routine. Pediatricians say creating a set schedule during the week for bedtime, when to get up, for exercise, playtime, and for homework builds a healthier mind and lends to greater academic success. Idaho doctor Sean Stringham suggests setting that routine early in the school year and sticking with it. And when it comes to just how much sleep kids and teens need,
we want to make sure, are you getting enough sleep every night? So sleep for kids, it's maybe a little bit more than you'd expect. So like our school age kids, kind of 6 to 12, we would say 9 to 12 hours of sleep every night. And then teenagers, and this is the hard one, we would want 8 to 10 hours a night. And teens need a lot more sleep than they typically get.
Yeah, you don't want to be like that one, sleeping on your desk. Dr. Stringham says sleeping well has a lot of benefits. It can help with concentration and academic performance. It also helps keep your body healthy so you don't get sick. Well, take a look out at this scene of Spokane Valley. This was trending all over social media yesterday. The Spokane River running dry. The river keeper shared these photos near Barker and Sullivan Road in Spokane Valley. In a post on Facebook, the group says, quote, "While there are many factors that impact river flows, this section is heavily impacted by the aquifer. Right now, there is not enough water to keep the river flowing and feed the aquifer, leaving the riverbed empty." The riverkeeper says current drought conditions and the need for stronger protections and careful water management. Yeah, not good to see, not what we want to see.
Yeah, I know that this summer, when I think about this in, years to come, 2025 was a drought-laden summer for the Spokane area. I'd have to double check. We're either the driest summer of all time or like top 2 or top 3 easily
Not
here.
good.
And because of that, it's also one of our hotter summers that we've had recently, top 10 hottest summers in the last 3 years here.
Yeah.
And plus, when it gets drier, people want to water more often.
Or just hotter in general. People want to
it-
have a swimming pool, sprinklers,
Exactly. Check out the drought conditions for yourself. This is the map really from last week, and we'll get an update on Thursday. But the entire state of Washington is reporting moderate drought conditions, and in Spokane, we're at that next level at severe drought, and there are areas of extreme and even exceptional. So those 4 drought levels, all 4 are present, and it has been exceedingly dry these last 3 months. And unfortunately, this is not going to help. There are some slivers of some sprinkles near Ritzville and southward from there, but that's barely anything. That's barely a drop in the bucket when you look at that little bit of green. But if you're noticing a sprinkle, don't be surprised. The cloud cover is overhead, but really the clouds actually help to lower the heat just by a little bit, but still low to mid 90s for the area today with that extra cloud cover.